This is Kyra Fontenot, the Fontenot Firm, and I want to talk to you. We're going to do a little series about mitigation. Mitigation is one of the most important parts of a lawsuit against your employer. And it's something that we oftentimes don't think about. And it's something that can really, if we don't handle mitigation properly, is really going to be something that can really kind of tank your case. So first off, I want to explain to you what mitigation is. So whenever you have a dispute between two people, that's sort of based on a contract, and an employment relationship is actually based on a contract, and that contract is breached. So someone has not done what they're supposed to do under that contract. The party who did not breach the contract is generally responsible for making sure that their losses stop, right? They try to lessen their losses. The term for that in the law is called mitigation. Mitigation meaning to stop the loss. In an employment lawsuit, an employee who has been terminated has a duty to try to stop the loss that they received because they did not get the job or because they were terminated. So what does that mean? That means you have to make efforts to replace the income that you would have had. That does not mean that you have to be successful in replacing the income that you once had or you should have had. So what does that mean? If you are terminated and you lose your job on a Wednesday, and you know that you were making $50,000 a year, you now need to go and look for other work. Well, that's kind of common sense, right? Because most of us don't have enough liquid capital to just stop working because someone terminates us. Well, not only do you need to look for that other job because it's good for you, it is also good for your lawsuit. So you need to make efforts and document your efforts and how you went about trying to replace your income. Well, once you have started looking for a job, you may find that you are offered a position. But if that position for some reason is not comparable to the position that you had before, you're not obligated to take that position. However, if you choose to do that, that is okay. And in fact, we encourage you to take positions for which you're qualified. If the position that you apply for after you lose your job makes less money, your back pay for the time that you were out will be at the full amount that you would have been paid had you stayed at your employer. And then for the period of time that you work for an employer who pays you less, you will have the difference between what you would have been paid by the employer that terminated you and the new employer. So your damages continue to grow, but they grow at a lower rate because you've gotten some of that loss mitigated, meaning you have found some way to replace some of that income. Well, if you replace some of that income, it doesn't mean that your losses completely go away, but if you do completely replace that income, whereas the amount you're making at your new job is greater or the same as what you were making at your old job, your damages stop growing. You are fully mitigated is what the law says. So once you find a job that's better than what you had, your damages will be the difference between what you got paid at your old job and what you got paid while you were out of work. And that's it. Okay. Now, what do you have to do to mitigate? You got to look for other work. Okay. You have to make efforts and you need to keep a record of the efforts that you make to find another job. It is not okay to just sit at home and not look for other work. You have to go and find a job. So what we'd like you to do is keep a log of all the places you applied, when you applied, who you talked to when you applied, what the result of that application was, and if you were hired, the date you were hired, and the amount that you started making, as well as the hours that you were making. It's important also to understand that if you do take another job and you're making more money per hour, but the hours are less so that your amount of money that you earn is less, or if the job is significantly harder or taxing, or there are reasons why you have to work more hours in order for you to make the same amount of money, that is something that a jury can consider when they are making a jury award. So finding another job is important. We need to document it. We need to document your efforts to find another job, and then it will help you in your lawsuit. And so that's what mitigation is. If you have any questions, you can check out our YouTube channel. There'll be some more videos about different types of mitigation, but you can also always call us in the office or look for us at KyraFontenot.com.